All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here at ICSC Live, DLC's one day a year with a media booth, and I'm thrilled to be joined once again by, first and foremost, a dear friend and the leader of our industry and our trade association, Tom McGee, the president and CEO of ICSC. Welcome, Tom.
Thanks, Adam. Always great to be with you.
I'm getting to do a number of these. I have an unwritten rule that my team helps me by, but I only have friends. Someone else can interview everybody else. So I wanted to start today, came up Saturday in our board meeting, and the days sort of just meld together here in Las Vegas. Came up Saturday in our board meeting, and that's, I want to start with the American consumer. And obviously there's a lot of noise. Where's the consumer at? Health the consumer. I was the one in the board meeting on Saturday who said, hey, everybody, it's our job to defend the American consumer because they're under attack to some degree, in my view. Give everybody a sense of what's the house view about where's the American consumer, and why does that give rise to continued optimism in our industry?
First of all, it's great to be with you. The American consumer, I mean, look, they've been incredibly resilient. There's been a lot thrown at the consumer over the course of the last few years, including most recently with tariffs, etc. But they continue to spend. Retail sales continue to increase. Employment continues to be strong. And generally, when the job market's strong, when somebody's confident in their job, they continue to spend. That's what we've, time and time again, if you look back at history, that's been the case. And that continues to be the case right now. Clearly, there's some uncertainty. There are some cracks shown. I mean, consumer delinquencies are up, but not at an alarming level, but they're up. And so we need to watch that. If unemployment was to increase, that would be obviously concerning. But as long as the job market continues to be stable, I expect the American consumer to continue to spend and be resilient, which they have been.
So you use the word resilience. So let's go to the other side of the coin, which is our retailer partners and our retailer friends. What are they telling you? Do you feel like they're hanging in here? Have you heard any nervousness on the part of the retailers? Do you feel like, what's the resilience level from where you sit with respect to the retailer community?
I think it's similar to the consumer. I think the retailer has been resilient. Everything I've heard is, retailers are continuing to look to expand. Retailers are using their stores for multiple purposes now. I mean, it's not just the traditional shopping experience. Stores have really become many fulfillment centers. The only channel that matters is the consumer channel, and consumers expect to be served consistently, whether in the store or online, and they increasingly expect to be able to navigate seamlessly between both. As you know, there's a supply-demand mismatch in the industry. The demand for space, particularly well-positioned suburban open-air center, is strong, and everything I've heard is that demand continues. So much retailers.
I mean, we've seen that, and I've been in our own portfolio. I've actually been pleasantly surprised that even post Liberation Day, of maybe 80 or 100 deals in process in lease documentation, only one of them has really hiccuped or gone sideways as a result of that, and that's one retailer who's particularly exposed to a certain segment of the supply chain, and I think it's pretty not unexpected, shall we say. You talked about supply and demand. I've been a big advocate of the value of existing space given the ever-increasing cost of developing new space. And we've now really, since the end of the GFC, underbuilt and more appropriately demolished obsolete space in our industry. What do you see there on the leading edge? Are you starting to see some people dip their toe in the water in new development? And if you have, is it really material, or is it just a few episodic kind of things?
I think you are seeing folks dip their toe into development. I think, our survey data would suggest that, developers expect there to be limited to some development over the course of the next year or two. So you are seeing some, but not significant levels of development. And so my expectation is that you're going to continue to have this supply-demand mismatch for a period of time, even if you were to have an economic correction, and even if you were to have a redevelopment boom. It would still take a long, some period of time for that capacity to come online. So I think we're in this supply-demand mismatch for a period of time. But I do think there are signs of some level of optimism and as you said, dipping the toe in the water of development. So that's a positive. But I don't see significant new development.
Yeah, the cost is just
that doesn't make
staggering.
sense.
Yeah, it's really been a challenge, even to do stuff like incrementally add multi-tenant pads or densify a site. We're still struggling to get the costs to stop growing at a multiple of the rate of inflation, and the aging construction labor demographic really started to loom large, at least for us on the ground, and others that we speak to similarly. I think that it's been interesting here the last few years, particularly post-pandemic, at how retail has so outperformed the mainstream media, the mainstream media's perception of what was going to happen. What do you think are one or two of the most important ingredients of that untold success story?
Well, I think there's a couple things. If you go back to the pandemic, first of all, people missed, the social experience of shopping and being together, and we are social creatures. So I think there's clearly a part of that continues to today. People are, there's a lot more work from home as well, and people are working from home, which allows them more time to go shopping, to go to local restaurants, to use their local neighborhood center. And so I think there's just the time element of that as well. And of course, as we talked about, and as you mentioned, there's just been such limited new developments since the great financial crisis. And then you have, retailers using stores for multiple purposes, and you put it all in the mix, and you end up in a situation where it's an industry that's actually in a really solid position, certainly in the most solid position it's been in since in my tenure in the last 10 years. And, the media...
You are coming up on 10 years.
Yes, I am in September. The media, obviously the headline is, they find a center that isn't performing well, and that becomes the headline. And that's just the way the media works. Although I will say that story around retail and the importance of physical retail is starting to take hold, even in the media, in an increasing level. And you certainly are seeing investment dollars because investment chases return, right? And it's performing well.
I think this is an area that I think a lot of people really don't understand. You showed the board some numbers on Saturday that were really staggering about how much the demographic of who's in ICSC has changed in your tenure. And I'm going to stop here. I'm going to give you a lot of props about that. I remember a number of years ago when I served on the executive board for you, you put up a slide that scared the bejesus out of all of us, that 34% of the American workforce was either millennial or Gen Z, and only 18% of the membership of ICSC was millennial or Gen Z. You put up a slide on Saturday, and I had these, so I want you to talk a little bit about the change in the demographic of the ICSC member, and also for the skeptics out there, talk a little bit about this incredible boom in retailer membership that we're seeing.
Yeah. Well, you're right. I mean, a few years ago, I put up a slide that said we had a problem, and, we weren't representative of the communities that we're serving, and we weren't representative of the American working population. And so over the course of the last number of years, and it's been very purposeful, we have grown our next-gen population. And so the percentage of membership that's under the age of 40 is well over 30% now, where that's
from
doubled.
Like 18.
Yeah,
right?
It's basically doubled in the course of the last, people call it 5 years. Similarly, our retailer population has doubled over the course of the last 5 years as well. As you know, we restructured our membership dues. We incentivized, younger members and retailers.
I voted for that.
To become a part of the organization, and it's worked. We've leaned into next-gen programming and next-gen activities and networking. It's worked. We made retailer attendance at our deal-making events complimentary. That's worked. I mean, here at this show, which is very vibrant around us right now, 16% of the folks that are here are retailers, which is, that wouldn't have been the case a few years ago. And so, I'm very proud of that because I think that, the organization, we're a membership organization. Our membership needs to be, you need to continually grow your membership, and it needs to be representative of the communities that you're trying to serve. If you're not growing your membership, if you're not constantly evolving, then you're not a thriving organization. And we're a networking organization, so you need to continue to bring new people into the organization.
So what's the most interesting new class of space occupier in your travels or in ICSC's retailer roles that you've seen? What's a quick one for everybody out there?
Well, I think any move towards experiential continues to be kind of, obviously exciting. I love Dick's House of Sports personally because I am a sportsaholic, and I think, that is the epitome of experiential retail because of your opportunity to, actually try on the shoes, swing the golf club, et cetera. You run on the track, you see, uses of hockey rinks and soccer fields, et cetera. I think that's super exciting, but there's a ton of other ones out there. The thing about retail in our industry and also the real estate part of it, we're just full of entrepreneurs who innovate, and whatever's thrown at our members, they figure out a way to adapt. And this industry has been around forever, and it will continue to be around forever because it draws innovators and entrepreneurs.
I really love that. All right, last thing, and I'm gonna let you go. What is this PropTech 26 thing, my friend?
Look, our industry is not unlike any other industry. Technology is increasingly important. Real estate has been kind of a slow adopter of technology generally.
Forever.
But you're starting now to see, really the emergence of PropTech, technology. PropTech is just technology in commercial real estate. And so I think there's a huge opportunity for ICSC as a convener, as a networking organization, to really lean into that. And there are a number of smaller PropTech events that are out there, but nothing of the scale of what we have here in Las Vegas. And so in 2026, we're going to launch a PropTech event as part of ICSC Las Vegas. And our goal is to simply build, just like we have the largest commercial real estate event in the world, our goal, our aspiration, it won't be that in year one, but our aspiration over a number of years is to build the largest commercial real estate PropTech event in the world. And we believe we can do that leveraging off of the energy that's very apparent in this room right now.
It's awesome. The energy today, the energy at the pre-events and the educational events yesterday for the speakers was all absolute validation that the industry is not only back, but it continues to grow, it continues to expand. I will tell you, I was one of the last people who interviewed you before you came on board. We're coming up on 10 years here. I want to thank you on behalf of the entire industry. You joined our industry at a time where I think things were uncertain. And you have developed a plan and a mission, and you've worked that plan and the mission, and the numbers show that we are moving in the right direction. I think that in no small part, your leadership has played a big role in that. So on behalf of the industry, I want to thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for your support and friendship.
You have become, part of the overall family that runs this industry. And I'm extremely happy at how good a steward you have been. Because you came into the industry mid your career, and it wasn't an industry you've been in before. So for adopting us, I think we all are thrilled.
Well, it's a privilege to be the CEO of ICSC. And look, our industry is full of just incredible people. And as I mentioned, innovators, entrepreneurs. I really get energized by being around our members. I just think they're incredible. And yeah, there's been a lot of challenges, but look at where we're at now. We're in our industry, and our members are amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.